Oh, there we go. Okay, so it looks like I'm connected now. That took a second. Took me a second. Hi, everyone. I'm gonna just take a few seconds here to get the rest of my stuff connected here. My gosh, this is definitely much later than usual. Hi, Carrie. Hello. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. As usual, I got caught up doing way too many things. And then I looked at the clock right now and I saw the time, and of course I'm like rushing over here to get to my desk. I'm doing all right though. I'm doing all right. Let me check my sound. Make sure my sound is on. It looks like it's on. So at least there's that. There we go. Okie dokie. So everything's here. Everything's in the right place. I finished. Well, actually, I can't say that I finished the drawing. I'm actually pretty close to finishing this one. So that maybe like tomorrow night or something, I'll come in here and kind of add some more details to this. So yeah, it's definitely coming along pretty nicely. I realized that without me kind of being here for these live streams, without me setting this up, I don't set aside the time, I don't set aside the time to actually sit down and do this. I feel like days and days will pass before I sit down here again. My desk has become a little bit like alien to me. So I think that it'll be good for me. It'll be good for me. And hopefully you guys will have a chance to kind of sit here with me and draw along a little bit. That's the hope, So that'll be nice. So yeah, it looks like we got a handful of people here today. I figured it might be a little weird for a few people, might be too late, too early. I don't know. The time is going to be different for some. It's 8:30 p.m. for me right now. So yeah, a little bit of a different time. So I'm gonna get a brand new paper right now. Yeah, hello. So I know I said hi to Carrie already, Bebop and Becca. Hello. Yeah. Thank you guys. Yeah, I'm just looking at the chat real quick. So yeah, let me reach over here. Let me grab a new piece of paper. New paper. I'm gonna start something fresh today. We're gonna get something really fresh. All right, let's see here. I do want to contain it because it's... somebody had asked actually, so I might as well mention it right now. For this drawing, somebody asked if the other drawing... Where is that big boy? This one from before. Somebody asked if I drew white onto black, and I didn't. This is actually... I'll show you the back of it. I filled it in. So yeah, all of these I mostly draw on white paper, and all of this is ink that I sat there and filled in. So yeah, the same thing's gonna happen to this guy. This one that we started last week. I know I didn't record any of the process. I was just kind of vibing with it. But yes, all of this white here I'm going to fill in with black ink. That's essentially what happens to most of my drawings. So we're gonna start one of those today. Just trying to... There we go. Just trying to move these out of the way because I'm a messy person. And since we're here, let me show you guys this one that I started. I'm mostly happy with this one. Mostly. I'm trying to just let it sit for a bit so that I can see what I want to change about it. And I'm sharing this just because I know that some of you guys ask, some people ask, what's the whole process here? Sketching with a pencil sometimes, especially if I'm going to draw a face because I'm really uncomfortable drawing faces. And then often I kind of just leave it alone, sometimes for months. That other drawing that we worked on the other day, it's right here actually, still haven't finished it. Sometimes like this one, I leave it alone for like a year and then I'll come back to it. So yeah, just please know, if you take a long time to do some of these things, like be kind to yourself, be kind. Some of these things take a while for your mind to process. I know it does for me, so give yourself some time. Yeah, oh my gosh, we got a couple more people that joined us. Hello. Tias Tech Angel, hi. Yeah, hello. Yeah, Carrie said it's 11:30. Oh, it's pretty late. Yeah, I know some of you like to do art late like I do. Yeah, thank you for joining me for the live stream today. Drops of Vitality, 1:30 p.m. in Australia. That's a pretty nice time. That's pretty nice actually. TS Tech, you're in my time zone. Nice. Bebop, you did a drawing today. You're gonna sit and just watch for this one. Yeah, hi Kat Baloo, 5:30 a.m. because you're in Germany. That's right. Nice and early in the morning, huh? Good way to get started. Yeah, Lisa, hello, hi. Yeah, we're here at a different time. Hi, Jessie. Sup, girl? A wrench wench. Yes, that is what we're gonna call her now. She is our wrench wench. Yeah, Angel. Yes. All right, so let's move some of this stuff aside. Yeah, that's my girl. I'm gonna let it simmer for a bit before I figure out what to put there. But yeah, those are the kind of things that happen in the world of art. We kind of make things, and sometimes we don't finish them. And let me start off with my pencil just real quick. Because I want these to be framed to be approximately 8 by 10. That's what I'm going with right now. Let me make sure. I need to check my camera real quick. Back camera. I'm just switching to ultra wide right now real quick, just because I don't like it when you guys can't see what I'm doing. So for an 8 by 10, I need to trim off. I'm doing mental math right now. I'm pretty sure you guys don't need to know the mental math. 3/4 of an inch on each side, and the sides 1/4 and 1/4, so 1/2 inch. So I essentially just do a little bit of mental math just to try to get rid of the right amount on the side. My idea is that when I go to scan these in, they're perfect for printing as 8 by 10s. That's my goal right now. Try to be a little bit more thinking about the final process. So, what's our favorite pen today? What is our favorite pen going to be today? Let's see. Do I want the fancy ones or the not so fancy ones? I think I'm very much in love with the point liners right now. I'm gonna go with those. So I've got an 0.05 point liner and a 0.1 point liner. Let me check them real quick. Always do a pen check before you start, so you don't have your heart broken. Oh, it's a little dry. Did I finish using it the other day? I'm having my heart broken right now. The 0.1's dry. 0.5. This one's good. I'm gonna have to get a different pen. Rest in peace, little guy. R.I.P. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I do. I'm just reading the chat real quick. I know that when you guys have your name up there, unfortunately, I am the worst person remembering names. It was really bad when I had to remember my students' names because there were hundreds of them, and so most likely if I see your name again in the stuff, I'll probably still call you TSS Tech Angel. I do try. It takes me a while, so I might remember to just say that your name is Angel. I'll do my best. I'm going to switch over to these pens. The mini pens. The mini group of pens. It takes forever to get set up, doesn't it? I know it does for me. Okay, so since those guys are gonna happen, what kind of things? Okay, I'm not going to put a voting thing in the chat, but those of you who are in the chat and do like to chat a little bit, let me know, should I do I'm thinking about it right now. Should I do like flowy and organic today? That's one option. For some reason, my brain can't make up its mind. Should I do flowy or should I do like boxy? I think those are the two things I tend to do. Let me know in the chat. So kind of boxy, I mean sort of geometric, straight lines, or like flowy, more organic. What do you think? What's your preferred look? Flowy and organic, or kind of boxy, geometric kind of thing, and then we'll go from there. Oh yeah, Angel said you're a newbie around here. Yeah, no problem. Don't worry about it. I'm just kind of warning. Sometimes people get kind of emotional and worked up about strange things, but yeah, I'm just doing my best. We're just hanging out. We're just chilling. All right, Kat said flowy, so we got our first vote from Kat, says flowy. Angel said a mix of both. I know. Hey, if we don't get any other votes, I'm just gonna go with whatever. Oh, here we go. Margaret said flowy. So we do like organic shapes. You guys know what my flowy stuff looks like. Everything always looks like it's something in the ocean, right? This one was lying on my desk the other day too. This is kind of flowy, isn't it? Swirly. A little bit swirly and flowy. We got another vote for flowy. Lisa said flowy organic is more intuitive. Okay, so it looks like we already have a bunch more votes for flowy. We don't want boxy today. That's fine. If we get any more votes and people say boxy, we'll stick some boxy in there. Let's see. Let's grab... Let's start with a segment of this then, since it's already here. This thing here. Let's keep it on the side. I'm going to do a flowy spot starting with one of these spirals with some little kind of little guys hanging out with him. Let's see if we can do that. Which pen is good for that? 5? Oh, 5 should be good. It's about the same size. Yeah. Angel said you love the ocean. What's your favorite animal? Oh, do we have to pick favorites? Yeah, Bebop, newbie as well. Flowy. Okay, yeah, it looks like we're going with flowy today. Let's do it. Let's start again with my usual, not quite in the center, so I am a little bit to the side. I never like to start in the center. That's just me. And I want my spiral to be kind of large and obnoxious. That's where that one's going. And it looks like I have a smaller spiral kind of on the side. I like the way that looks. So I'm just using a pencil just to outline where they're going to be. Smaller spiral and a bigger spiral. And I'm just going to use my pencil to outline the bigger one because it is kind of in the back. That's the only reason. It's good enough. That's fine. And I'm going to focus on the smaller one with the pen since it's in the foreground. Circle. Let me start with that circle. Circle. Dolphin hands down. Yeah. Yeah, dolphins. They are very smart, aren't they? A little too smart. Let me do my spiral heading inward. And usually I end my spiral with just this little teardrop. Little teardrop thingy. See, in my mind, I can already see something here that I don't like. These are almost look exactly the same, just one bigger. I don't like that. So I'm going to use the magic of an eraser to change the orientation of this. It isn't important, but my brain tells me these should be somewhere a little different. So all I'm doing is extending this part of the swirl to just go over here. That's all. Otherwise it would probably bother me because they're gonna look way too similar. Yeah. Oh, Lisa said, I like that your architectural drawings combine the organic and the boxy. Yeah, thank you. It's a lot of fun. I'm glad you like it. I really do enjoy kind of mixing those two elements. I like mixing them. And since you mentioned like architectural drawings, I've had that on my mind too. I have had it on my mind. I changed the line, you can see. Sometimes I do that. I have been thinking about drawing more buildings and structures and things like that. It seems like a lot of fun. I do actually have like 3D models that I've made. My gosh, I don't even have one. I ended up leaving one of my big models at the university. I built a dome by actually doing calculations by hand for the brickwork for it. I might actually go over there and reclaim it one day because I ended up leaving it at one of the labs because one of the teachers wanted to take some scans of it, and I forgot and I never picked it up. It was huge. I'll probably show some photos to you guys someday. It was a huge project that I made. And I also have some 3D built kind of structures that are in my kitchen. I will go back to those one day if I can stop drawing for like a hot minute, right? So here is my two big swirls. I'll switch real quick just so you guys can see where it lies in the page. Ooh, that's the other direction. There we go. So this is where it lies on the page, so it's not quite center, it's a little bit off. I absolutely know how to tap on things. So here we go. I am going to do the same thing here. I think I really like this, where there are some contour lines that go all the way through, but some that don't. So let's try that, and I'm going to start from the outside, as I always do. Let me check it. Let me check which way is this going. Is it going... I like the direction of it. So I think because of the way it's flowing, I'm going to start in the middle. See, I'm a liar already. Like that. Okay. So let me see if I can draw my first... like that. I usually don't go in this direction. That's funny. I just realized I usually don't draw my lines in that direction. No wonder. Okay, so my curves are going to go that way, starting from the inside. Like that. I'm just going to keep going from here. I wonder what caused me to go in the opposite direction than what I usually go in. It's like a little tornado. So now I'm just drawing the lines that go straight through. That's all I'm doing. Let me get in there a little closer. Oh, Lisa, yeah, I'll have to show you someday. I have to show you the calculation of that dome was my version of the Duomo from the cathedral. One of the cathedrals that was built in Italy. I don't know if any of you know about that. There's what was the artist's name? Oh gosh, for whatever reason, it's been a few years ago already, so I can't even remember. The Duomo was designed by an artist, and he was a sculptor. And as anyone was back then during the Renaissance era, everybody was a Renaissance man or gal. They knew how to do all sorts of things. So we did like this game in one of our classes that was kind of history related. And I played the role. It was like a role-playing game. It was really crazy. I was the artist. And therefore, I ended up designing all these kind of mathematical designs. And I actually ran the math. I did all the trig by hand. And I came up with all the calculations, and I designed every level of bricks. Because if you're building a dome out of brick, it is very, very, very difficult. And so I came up with a design, and I even modeled it with paper bricks that I built myself. And we were in a team, so they did help me. There were about... was there six of us on the team, so we all talked about it and we made the decision and we worked on it together. So that was really nice, having a whole group of us working on it together. But yeah, the dome is big. It is a big dome. My calculations were off a little bit though, so my dome was like a little bit skewed once I reached the top. That top layer that kind of tops the dome didn't quite fit, so I ended up having to do last minute kind of adjustments to that top layer. So sorry if I'm boring you guys. So sorry. Victoria is saying if it's Michelangelo. That doesn't sound familiar. I have to look it up now. I've got the lookup brain now. That's what happens when let's see, who designed, let's ask the internet. Who designed the Duomo? It's silly, this guy doesn't listen. Who designed the Duomo? There we go. It was Filippo Brunelleschi, this guy right here. So if you guys are wondering, since I'm kind of just jabbering here, Brunelleschi designed the Duomo. This is the Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore. So yeah, it was a very interesting, it took all semester. So if you guys ever are curious about that kind of thing, I actually did make an entire mathematical model for the dome. And I think that when I when I did it, I held on to all my notes, and I actually was interested if I ever ended up going into my master's program using that for what is it that they do in their master's programs? They do some kind of like a thesis. I thought that would have been a fun thing to do my thesis on, because they're actually, I'd never found anyone having actually done the math for it. And for the most part, at least as far as having done math by hand, my stuff worked. My measurements worked. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, Bebop said Arnolfo de Cambio. So are you talking about the building or the dome? Because I think you're right about Arnolfo designing the cathedral itself. But the dome, the design for the dome, I think was Brunelleschi, because he took over the structure about 100 years later, I think. Yeah, there were multiple people who worked on it. Yeah, yep. Some of these buildings have such a long history, like a really long history. And you're right, because see right here, there's another name, Arnolfo. And so you'll see that see the artwork here? These are the sculptures that went around the outside of the structure. So I remember that we talked about that. But Brunelleschi in particular was hired to take on the task of putting a huge dome on top of the cathedral, because it had, and I may be wrong about the time, the structure had sat there for, I think, like maybe 100 years, or I don't know really, but the structure was there for a long time without a roof. It was roofless. And some of the artwork was done, but yeah, they needed a smart boy to come in and kind of figure out how to get a big dome on top. It hadn't been done. And so that was why us as math students, we were given the task of trying to figure something out. And I don't think anyone really approached it with really solid mathematics, so I wanted to. I figured I would do it. It was fun. My team won first place, so at least there's that. I have the thing they awarded us somewhere in my stuff here. It was a lot of fun. For me, at least. It was a lot of fun for me. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, Bebop. Yeah, definitely. Yep. Yeah, there's a whole lot of history behind that building, that structure. Whole lot of history we could discuss, and I don't really remember all of it. All I know is that in the end, for the dome, and Brunelleschi was also in charge of getting the structure up there on top of the dome. Apparently he was a very, very good person to work for. At least as far as I learned. That he made sure there were a lot of safety precautions up there when they put the nets, and Brunelleschi even designed a couple of other things to help put up the structure. It was pretty insane. For sure. And then I don't really remember, I think someone else may have taken over when he passed away, because those things take forever. Absolutely forever. But it did stand the test of time. His work is still there. It's still up there. The dome still stands. I remember hearing that there were a few cracks in it finally, but that was because there was some kind of earthquake, some kind of activity, a little bit of jiggling. But yeah, it's surprising that it's lasted so long. I was definitely impressed. Wow, I'm almost done with these. Almost done. So these are all my solid curvatures here that we're adding here. And there we go. So I'm getting to the end of my swirl that swirled in the wrong direction. The swirl that swirled. Just gonna go that way. There we go. Not bad. Victoria, he says, you're dyslexic and that style of line drawing can confuse you. Have you ever come across dyslexic artist? Oh, I might have. Yeah, I've known a few people who had it. And I have heard from some artists that this kind of thing can really throw them off. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't really have too much advice on that, unfortunately. I know that dyslexia can affect people as well when they have... I came across it more with the math students, probably, and so we had to focus on not getting things flipped around. Yeah. Hi, Andrew. Hello. Hello. I'm actually going to start this one in the way that I usually start it. So I'm starting from the outside, and I'm just making this little curve and heading inward. Yeah. I am thinking about your question about anyone with dyslexia. I'm trying to remember if I've heard anything or if anything was mentioned to me in the past, but I don't quite remember right now. Yeah. I'm sure it's tough. Yeah, math was rough for you. I bet it was. Yeah. It can be really... Because if I understand it correctly, do things kind of get flipped around on you? Is that what happens? Yeah, number dyslexia has a name too. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, definitely. Well, and then these kind of things affect people differently, you know? So things could have a name as well. So... And then I'm sure that every individual has their own kind of way that they experience it or deal with it. So it can't be easy. So really all I do is I pick a spot and I just go from there, and I try not to look at anything else. So right now I'm right here. I'm not doing anything else. That's the only thing my pen is doing, is I'm just making this little belly, and then another belly, and another belly. So that's what these shapes are. These are contour lines, and it's just a curve. So that's kind of the therapeutic aspect, is all I'm doing is focusing just on this one spot. I'm not doing anything else. This is where my eyes are, right here. Nowhere else. Like that. At least that's what I try to do. Yeah. Dyscalculia? Dyscalculia? Wow. Yeah. To me, that's often the proof that math isn't really natural. Sometimes people like to make it seem that, yeah, you can just do it, but it's not. It's kind of unnatural. Mathematicians are weird. It's crazy stuff. Very abstract sometimes. And so, oh, Angel, brain no worky, my bad. Your brain is in chill mode. Yeah. Yep. So for this one, I'm kind of just heading inward. Inward. Oh, I'm just thinking, where's that brown pen? I'm probably going to use it to do some things here. Brown pen, where is you? Where are you, my little friend? These are all my black pens. It must have sprouted legs again. Or I'm just a messy artist. I'm gonna have to look for it. I have this gray pen. This one might work too. Gray is good for adding elements that you don't want to be as dark. I'm just checking it real quick. I think I'm going to use this gray pen in a sec. It's about to happen. If you don't have a gray pen, don't worry about it. Just use your regular pen. I'll show you what to do, or at least what I'm going to do. I spend an ungodly amount of time drawing these spirals. Way too much time. I'm gonna show you guys something real quick. Oh, there it is. Sorry, I did that thing where I ran off on you guys for a second. I got this book recently. I don't know if any of you are into manga. This is Junji Ito's Uzumaki, and it's all about spirals. So the artwork here has certainly inspired me to keep up with my obsession with spirals. And this is such a good manga. It is very, very big. But essentially, if any of you don't know about this, everything's about spirals in this story. So I've been looking at all his artwork and just kind of admiring what he did. And I'm kind of really leaning into all my spirals as well right now. So this is a very good, and I'm learning to read backwards because that's how the stories go in these books. This is my first book of his that I've bought. So yeah, that's the one. Spiral into Horror, Junji Ito. Thank you very much, sir. This is a very good book. I'm gonna keep on going with my spirals here. Mine are a little different, but that's not a problem. Yeah, Bebop and Becca said it was explained to me as lacking the bridges between left and right sides of the brain. Really? How long ago was that? Did they tell you that? I'm just curious because my understanding right now is that the left brain, right brain thing is baloney. Yeah, I wonder how long ago, like, that explanation. Yeah, how long ago did you receive that explanation? Yeah, because mostly what I've seen more recently when it comes to that discussion about left brain, right brain is that all of that was just pop science, and that, yeah, your mathematical side isn't stuck like on a certain side of you or anything like that, or what was it, like your logical side is stuck on one side. That's not really how it goes. When you do the thinking, you use your whole brain. You use the whole thing. There are certain places that light up a little more when you're doing certain things. Like, let's say you're feeling emotional, or you're like thinking really hard because you're at school or something. Yeah, some places light up a little more, but it still kind of takes your whole brain. Yeah. Victoria, backwards books are perfect for those with dyslexia. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I really loved being able to open it from the back end, and I was like, what is this? It's so good. I'm probably going to be collecting all of the books that are available from Junji Ito, because it's not all of his books. I know he has lots. He has lots and lots of books, but there is a good amount of them that are available translated into English, and I'd like to collect them. So I think that's what's going to be happening in the next few years. I'm collecting art books. There's a reason why this is happening. There's a reason. I'm kind of keeping them as reference, and it's a lot of fun seeing the way that other people kind of put those things together. Yeah, it's so good. Angel, there's 3 manga in that series. Yeah. Oh, 30 years ago. Okay, I'm just reading the comment from Bebop and Becca. Yeah, I feel like the understanding now, at least from what I've heard, is that that's not really how it goes when it comes to the brain function. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but I guess the truth is you're the one living with it, and whatever helps it make sense for you, is, not judging here. I'm not judging. I'm looking for my other marker that's like a size 1. Where are you? I lost him. Oh no, is this it? 1. I like this one, the size 1. It's a little bit bigger, and so what I'm going to do is just really quick go over the edge, because I don't want these two kind of melting into each other. Yep. And it almost makes kind of sense, doesn't it? Like, if you're thinking about dyslexia and how you kind of swap things back and forth, maybe it has something to do with like the two sides of your brain maybe not communicating the way they should or something like that. So I guess it could help. It can help make sense of things. Yeah, the brain is crazy. I'm not even going to try to pretend to understand it. It's crazy. It's insane. Okay, so now you saw with that thicker line, it helps the front one stand out from the back one. The background. They tend to melt together if they're just left to their own devices. I'm going to attempt to use this gray pen. It's about to happen. So this is this one of the Kuretake? Okay. So this is a Kuretake. It's from a Zig set. And the ink in here is gray. So I'm going to use it just on the big one, because I don't want to spend too much time on that. And so what I'm going to do is just make these extra little dashes here. Woohoo! So a lot of ink coming out of this right now. I'm hoping it doesn't keep doing that. I'm trying to just make like these little eyelashes here. Like that. The ink's a bit dark right now too. Not a problem. I could have been doing this with the black ink as well. So just like a little eyelash. Just boop, like that. That's all I'm doing. And like I said, I'm only going to do it a little bit because I would like to move on to another part of the drawing. I'm definitely that person who loses interest after a while. And I'm losing interest in this giant spiral. So there we go, it's like a little eyelash. A little bitty eyelash. Like that. And then I can do it on the other side as well. So like right here. Right here. And that one's not so great. I kind of messed it up. There we go. I'm trying to make it just a little curved so it matches the others there. Then if I feel like it needs more work, I can always go in there and do shading with a pencil or a pen or millions of other options that I have here. Dash, dash. Just like that. I'll go a little bit further. I'll go over here. If I feel like it needs it later, I can also use the teeny tiny pen and add lots of little lines there as well. Essentially, I'm just doing some shading right here. That's all I'm doing. I'm shading. I'm going to add a few more curves here just because it's kind of that weird spot where it gets weird. Right in there. The weird spot where it gets weird. Yeah. Bebop and Becca said, I hear white noise when trying to do math things. Huh. I can do operations immediately when shown, but can't retain how to do them. So you forget them. That's interesting. So if someone shows you how to do it, you can do it right away. But if they ask you 10 minutes later, it won't happen. That's so interesting. Yeah. In art, perspective and vanishing points. Perspective is hard for you, yeah. So there must be something with the way your eyes are communicating with your brain. Something's not coming through. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because sometimes it's like a visual. It's about the visual communication in your brain. Where is this one? Okay. That's interesting. Okie doke. Let's see which one I'm using right now. And I'm going to just start adding some things around the page. I know I'm jibber-jabbering a lot. Doing a whole lot of gibbering and a whole lot of jabbering today. That is what I do. I do want a few clusters of circles, so... And I don't think I have the patience for it today, but I do feel like eventually I will like to go in there and do some stippling like this to add some of that lovely shading. Today's not the day, though. You know what I'm saying? Today's not the day. But I will set up the circles, though. That's a good thing I can do right now. I can set up circles. Like little clusters, little bubbles. Yeah, Angel said, found out the Energel pens have more colors in the big 20-pack. You're in trouble. Are you going to do shopping right now? Are you going to shop? I didn't make you do it. It wasn't me, okay? You can't blame me for it. It's all on you. Oh, yeah. I almost bought art pens again the other day. I was like, no. I had to kind of remind myself that I have every pen imaginable in my desk already, and I should use those first. They're perfectly good pens. So here's one of my clusters, and I'm making some of the little bubbles smaller around the outer edge. Some of the bubbles. I want another cluster. I'm going to rotate. Let's rotate. We're going to give a little cluster guy right here as well. Yeah, let's do it. Make a cluster of circles because we love circles. Very natural and organic. Little guys here. Yep. Hi, Zen Mama. Hello. Love the spirals. Thank you. Yeah, so Angel's talking about perspective not lining up for you either. Yeah, definitely. I feel blessed since you guys are talking about this kind of stuff. Like I love doing this so much, and for me, there is a huge should I call it like a conjunction between visual things and mathematics for me, it drives me. And I know that math is hard for a lot of people. I know art is hard for a lot of people, just kind of being able to deal with perspective and drawings. And it's like it drives my brain. My brain turns on. I'm dialed up to 11 when I'm thinking about perspective, and you know, I'm thinking about like combinatorial expressions and all the calculus that I learned, and I'm just like I'm going with it. Like how do these things, how can these be represented in dimensional space? Because sometimes there are things that are more than 3 dimensions, 4 dimensions. You know, like the Klein bottle. These are things that cannot really be seen with the human eye because there's too many dimensions involved, but I love thinking about that. And I cannot imagine what I'd be doing with myself if I couldn't keep my brain busy that way. I can't imagine. So yeah, I guess that's my way of saying I'm so sorry that some of you guys have a hard time with that. I'm so sorry. Even for me, I had to retrain my brain. I've always loved math and art, but I definitely had to train my brain to be able to kind of wrap my thoughts around it. It is difficult. It's rough. Very rewarding though. I think I'm gonna add a few more little bubbles here. Why not? Since they are a cluster, they're like little thingies growing there. A little bit of thingies growing there. There we go. I'm gonna zoom out. I'm gonna pan out again for a second. I do like to give you guys the opportunity to see kind of how it all lies on the page. So this is what we're looking at right now. Maybe this way? Maybe this way? I don't know. This way? A lot of different orientations we can go with here on this guy. But yeah, that's how it looks. That's how it looks right now, for sure. For sure. So it looks pretty good. Yep. Yeah. Victoria, you can do this work, yeah. You have to go at a slower rate and be calm. And when you're done, you're incredibly happy. Yeah, of course. Yeah, everybody's got a different pace. And just because it's hard sometimes, just because certain things are difficult doesn't mean we shouldn't do them, right? We should still try. Give it a try. You might surprise yourself. I think that's where I'm at right now with my drawing skills in a way. Sometimes I surprise myself and I thought, wow, I've been learning to draw lately. That's nice. That's a nice feeling. It's a nice feeling, very much. I'm thinking about continuing right here. Something flowy, something smooth right here. What should I go with? It's kind of hard to figure it out. Oh, I know. I've been meaning to try a thing. There's this old drawing that I did that I really liked something in it. Definitely. There's a thing that I did. This was in 2022, and I never finished Inktober that year. Oh, I like this one too. Oh, dang. There was one that I looked at recently and I thought I have to do this. How about this one? This one, the purple. So maybe like a little vine like this, and then just all these little guys clustered there, which means I'm gonna have to color it if I want to do this. I think I'm going to do that. That looks really nice. Okay, so let me look at it. Let me see like what angle. A couple of clusters. Oh, they almost look like grapes, don't they? Little silly grapes. Yeah. Hi, Miss Melissa. Hello. Thank you for joining. I'm glad you're here. We're doodling. I'm going to draw these little purple guys right now. Yeah, Bebop and Becca Rowe. I have to work. You have workarounds to compensate. Yeah, with dealing with perspective. Yeah, and that's essentially what we do with everything, isn't it? You find your own special way to kind of deal with the thing. It's like you're just you. It's your special thing. Just your special thing. I'm looking for that 5 pen. Oh, 5. There we go. Let's do this. Okay. I think I want my... This way? My brain is processing. This way? This way? No, this way. This is the way. It's gonna happen real quick here. Still a swirl, I guess, because I can't help it. So it's still a swirl, but it's a little bit more open, and it's just going to be like this little vine. Can't help myself, like that. Which means that if this is going to be the design, I am going to just go around and add vines throughout. So I'm gonna connect another one here. It's just got this little round blip at the end, like that. Yeah. Angel's talking about some art supplies, yeah. Yeah, with a watercolor brush. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, those stabilos are nice, but they get pretty messy with some water, yeah. Lisa wrote swirly vinegar? Vinegar, you say? There's that one. I'm going to add... Which way? Which way? Sometimes the mind takes a second. This way? Let's try this way. This one not as big as the other one. This way, this way? So again, I'm just going around. I'm adding my little vines. Kind of just thinking about which way they might look okay. And if you're wondering how I make this decision, there is actually a decision-making process for me. I'm trying to vary their sizes. Here's a big one. This is medium, medium, medium. I want to make a little one now. I actually just was watching a video from someone, another artist, and they were explaining that that's actually a rule, or not a rule, I shouldn't call it a rule. It is a concept that some artists are taught. I didn't even know that. And I've kind of been doing it just naturally because it makes sense, I think. That you want to vary the sizes of things, that it's a little bit of repetition with slight variation. So this is going to be another one of my bigger ones. And by varying your sizes like that, it gives it a little more interest. So that one's all right. Should I add another one? I think I'm going to put another guy right here. This might be the last one. Just a sort of small one here. But regardless of whether it is a socially acceptable way of doing things, I like it, and that's why I'm doing it. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Lisa, Vine, Swirly Vine, autocorrect is weird, yeah. Hey, vinegar is good too. I am going to try something right now. It's not art related, but I would like it if you guys let me know. I'm going to turn off an air conditioner that's near me. It is still very hot here, and I'd appreciate it if you could all tell me if you can hear the noise. Okay, so I just... Aha, okay, I just turned it on. It is behind me. Please let me know if it's making a lot of noise or what you hear. And I'm just going to continue drawing because it is warm in here and I would like to be comfortable. If it's really bad, I'll turn it off, but we will see. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Angel, it was 100 degrees there too. Yeah, it was so bad. It was, at least where I'm at, I was told it was going to be 100 and... Okay, Angel said the sound is soft. Okay. Alright, if anybody else wants to add in the chat, let me know, please. It started getting kind of warm in here again. It's okay, keep going. Thank you. Let me look at my reference again, because I'm trying to remember how I did this one. Sometimes I have to refer to my own work, because I don't remember where I started. I think I just started the little cluster. Where are you? Did I lose you? Where are you? Did I lose you? I have a lot of drawings, my friends. There we go. Okay, so... I'm guessing, okay, so I'm starting the cluster just right here. They look like petals. Okay, so I just start the cluster and then it just grows out the usual way. Okay, that's easy enough. Let me set it aside. This is why my desk is always a mess. This is why it is always a mess. I just cannot stop. Wow. Last week, it was 107. Yeah. Yeah. Are you in my area? Or are you like in Arizona? Tell me what area you're at, Angel. Yeah. 112. Oh, man. I'm guessing those of you guys who are like in the Arizona area, are you in the Four Corner states, anywhere like that? It's so bad over there. Bebop and Becca said you can hear it, but it's not intrusive. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for letting me know. Yeah, I always worry about that if the noise is going to be too ick. Okay, so they're petals, essentially. So that's what I'm doing. Northern Cali. So it was that hot in Northern California as well? Holy cow. Am I allowed to say that? Holy cow. It just... Yeah. I'm in Southern California, and we had... Yeah, we didn't quite hit 100 today because the clouds rolled in. It was weird. So it ended up being humid and hot, which I don't know if that was any better. Was that any better? Maybe not. It's kind of rude of the sky. Like, I actually kind of enjoy when it's just hot and dry, and then the humidity just rolled right in and just said, hello, I'm humidity, I'm here. Thank goodness I was just staying indoors for the day. I didn't even cook. I had everything ready. I did meal prepping. I said no cooking. The food's in the fridge. No cooking. Okay, so I'm just kind of adding these petals. You can see I'm just overlapping them. So let's say right here is a little gap. And I feel like they might look better if they're a little chubby, like chubbier. The chubbier, the better. I'm going to add some over here. Chubby little petals. And then after I get a good cluster of these going, I'm going to add some kind of hatching to them, some detail work. That's what I'm going to be adding. Yeah, definitely. Ricky, you're in Arizona. Yeah. 114. Holy. Oh, man. Yeah, once it's over 100, I remember... Oh, man. There was a woman I worked with when I was working at a community college. What? It was a while ago. It was like probably almost a decade ago now. I remember she said something. A coworker of mine, sorry, like my brain's all over the place, I do apologize. So a coworker of mine when I was working at a community college, I remember she moved to Palm Springs. Palm Springs is nearby. It is very, very hot. It is very, very hot. I used to visit, it is very hot. I used to work in Palm Springs, it is very hot. It's kind of like what you guys have going on there. And I remember she told us that she moved there. She moved to Palm Springs, and I thought, what is wrong with you? Why would anyone move to Palm Springs? And they had a heat wave that year, and she came to work saying, you know, she said, you know, I love it there. It's so beautiful. I can stand the heat, but you know, when it's over 105 degrees, I lose it. And I'm looking at her like, that's your breaking point? 133. Oh my gosh. Yeah. She was, yeah, exactly, in Palm Springs. It's so bad. And I can't believe that she said that. She said that over like 105, 110, she loses it. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's it? That's when you lose it? Because I think I lose it at like 95. I'm not. It was hilarious that she explained. Well, she was thin. You know how sometimes when people are thinner, they can actually handle a little bit more of the heat than those of us who are kind of on the pudgy side. So there, I've been adding my cluster of these little kind of chubby things. I'm going to start doing the line work. But yeah, I just thought it was so funny when she said that she loses it when it's above 105. And I was just thinking, whoa, you've got some tolerance. Yeah, that is crazy. I haven't checked the temperature. I just remember when there's heat waves, they'll close down the they'll close down the airport in Palm Springs because what is it called, the tarmac, where the planes take off, that stuff will start to melt and the planes can't take off. And what is the other thing too, if any of you know, something about like the airplane's engines, right, won't be able to function in the hot air. Something about that, I'm not really sure what it is, but it's just crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, it's insane. Angel said, when I asked what your favorite marine animal was, I was going to draw you one. Oh, that's so cool. I don't have actually, let me see. If I had some that I just really like visually, but they're hard to draw. What are they called? They're not cucumbers. They're not sea cucumbers. They're those. They have really vibrant colors, and they have these really gorgeous little flowy bits on their back. But they're these little creatures, and they're not normal like sea. What are they called? Oh, Victoria's asking which brand of pens these are. These aren't really branded. If you can see the lettering on there, it's kind of funny. Meepor pen line. If you type this in, you can't find it. I need to remind myself. I can give you guys the link, but I did get these from Amazon. They were under $10 for the set. And I know I've linked them in other videos as well. If I don't give myself a reminder, I'll forget. I forgot in the last video. But yeah, these are actually a good price. If you're ever on Amazon, look around for like fine liners and art pens. You'll see lots of brands. You can look it up yourself as well. Yeah, they came from Amazon. They were random, like weird named pens. So this is the 05. Let me get some of this stuff off my desk. This is the 05. And there's so many nice pens here. And I'm going to switch to something smaller. How smaller is the question? Maybe these are too small. The 005 and the 003, that is maybe the 03. Let's try an 03. Let's see if that works. Let's try that. Yes, that is it. I'm looking at the chat. Angel, yes, a nudibranch. Nudibranch. Nudibranch? Yes, it's like a sea snail. They're so gorgeous. They're like purple and pink and yellow, and they've got these little wavy tops. That's it. See, you knew. Yeah, they're kind of like sea slugs. Yeah. Yeah, you have Victoria saying that you have microns. Yes, these are very similar to microns, for sure. At least, and these are a little bit more affordable. Let me do some of those lines in there. I keep promising it, and then I don't do it. I'm just jabbering. So this is the 03. I'm just a jabbering. Yes, I love nudibranchs. When I was going to SAD Community College, I ended up in an art show. I know, I have stories, you guys. I ended up in an art show at school. I applied for it, and I entered some of my ceramic sculptures. And that was nice for a semester. I worked with an advisor to create like a body of work. And I ended up making ceramic sculptures. And all my sculptures look very organic, like sea life and stuff. And while I was in there, I'm going to grab one real quick. I'm trying not to drop it. There we go. When I was in that art show, this is one of the works that I did during that. When I was in that art show, one of my fellow artists, see, a few of these broke. My cats did this right here. That was my cats. But one of my fellow artists there was a painter, and I hired him to make me a painting, and he asked me what I wanted the inspiration to be, and I told him a nudibranch. So I have this amazing acrylic painting from him. He went on to go do his studies at university in art. I moved on to math, but I do have this gorgeous painting based on a beautiful, beautiful nudibranch, and I love that painting so much. I love those little creatures. Bebop and Becca, they look like little dragons. They do. Yeah, Angel said a sea anemone. Yeah, that's the... I love looking at this guy. I know you guys are looking at him up close right now. But that's my inspiration for most of my ceramic sculptures was sea life. Was the sea life. My largest sculptures were huge. Absolutely huge. And they are in my backyard now, full of plants. They actually look really good. Full of like little... just little tiny plants. They look really good. They look perfect. I never wanted them to be like all sterile and just like in a sterile environment. I made them essentially so when I was done, I was going to put them in my yard and I was going to fill them in lots of tiny plants. So yeah, that's my world, my friends. That is where I come from. Yeah, Angel said sea life is your inspiration. It's a good thing to be inspired by. It's got a lot of fun stuff going on. Let's get in here a little closer. There we go. It's a lot of good stuff. Since I've been cleaning out all of my things lately at my house, I'm trying to decide what things matter the most and which ones don't. I'm finding a whole lot of my sculptures. I have pottery that also has similar designs on it. Knitting bowls, if any of you do any kind of yarn work. You know what I mean? It's like a bowl with a notch in it that the yarn can come out of. I ended up making a couple of those. Mugs, bowls, and plates. I did a final project where I made a tea, what do you call it? Like a tea set. So it was the entire cups, the little teacups and the tea plates, and yeah, everything, the whole thing. Lots of fun stuff. I love clay. I've been thinking about going back to clay recently. That might be something good for my brain. I may have mentioned this at some point, but I have a small kiln, like a very tiny one, very old school tiny kiln. There isn't enough time in the world for me to do all this stuff though. It's not enough time. Angel said you started as an abstract artist. Yeah. Oh, you lost it because kids are mean and said it wasn't real art. Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. No, I'm glad you're here. It's not crazy. It's just, it's hard, isn't it? When you're trying to just follow your own artistic, your voice. And people will say things about it because they don't understand. Are you kidding me? Some of the most influential artists have been abstract artists. Surreal artists have been just crazy. It was artists that had crazy things in their brain. Even pop art is nuts. At least for me personally, pop art does not make any sense. But hey. It's art. It sells. People just don't get it. Yeah. You'd buy cups to put all your supplies in. If I had spare cups, yeah. I've broken quite a few of them. Because, you know, when you're a new potter, you don't always, like, make mugs with a very good structural stability, you know? So I ended up breaking a few. Sometimes you do like a little bit of a stress test on a they're called vessels. Hopefully I'm not gonna lose anyone with the language, but when you make vessels, it's often a good idea to do a little bit of a stress test to see if it can take a tap. And if you make something and you go and tap it and it pops, then it's a good idea you didn't try to eat off of it, because sometimes the clay, if you don't know how to put it together, it'll just kind of pop and it just goes in shards everywhere. Just breaks up into lots of itty bitty little flakes. It didn't always happen, but I learned quickly to make sure that my clay was well put together, so it didn't do that. But I do have a few cups that have been sent to the pencil pile because they can no longer hold hot liquids. Yeah, they ended up getting little cracks at the bottom and whatnot. So I think this is working out. You'll notice I'm just making, if you've joined me for any of my videos before, they're just like these little flicks, these little pen flicks, and I'm doing them on the, I guess essentially what's the connected side, and also on the free side. So it's just like these little eyelashes. Flick, flick, flick. You can do this with any pen you've got. Flick, flick, flick. Fun stuff. I know that I was recently showing everyone how I use a ballpoint pen. You can do it with that too. Ballpoint pen is nice. I might end up using that for the background since I've gotten a lot of practice with it recently. Lots of nice background scribbling with that ballpoint pen. I'm going to pan out just a little bit again to show you all how this looks here. So that's how it looks so far, with a little bit of shading there. Yeah, Angel saying you never lost your drive. Yeah, it's good. You got to keep going. You have to keep going. Just do your thing. Lisa said the clusters of petals remind you of hops flowers. Hops like for beer? Hops like beer hops? Is that what you're referring to? Ooh. I'm gonna see what that looks like. Beer hops, huh? I hope that's what you're talking about, because that's what I'm about to look up. I do like to look at the flowers whenever, oh, how cute! Whenever all of you mention it, I like looking at them just because they're such pretty designs sometimes. It does, it's almost like a little cone. Oh, they're like little upside down pine cones. They're so pretty. Oh, even from above. Do they hang? Do they just kind of hang there? That is so cute. Oh my goodness. I wonder, this is probably like an AI generated image, but the idea is there. That is so cute. If I made them in little clusters like that, like a little pine cone, that would be so pretty. Give me something that isn't AI, please. Please. This looks like it might be a photo. Maybe. Oh, that is so precious. Haha. Yes, thank you for that. They grow on vines. Oh my gosh. Yes, I do love that. Yeah, whenever you guys mention the flowers, I do like looking at them. That is so cute. All these little clusters. All these little fluffy puffy clusters. They're so cute. Yeah, I'm looking at a comment from Bebop and Becca. Your art instructor had said, "I don't get it." Wow. Oh man, just humans. Humans, am I right? Am I right? Sometimes people just... Sometimes I'm amazed at like how some people like, when did you learn to people? Did you ever... How do some people get around like that? Like, without knowing how to communicate to others in like in a kind manner, I guess. Because it's perfectly fine to critique someone's work, or at least I think so. It's okay to critique, or to maybe say, you know, I feel like this could use some work, or maybe you could work on... But to say, I don't get it? And you're saying this was an instructor? Yeah, that doesn't sound like very, very useful, a very useful critique, you know? I was just watching a video, just a really quick one, and someone was talking about food. And this is someone who grows their own veggies and stuff. They grow their own veggies. They grow a lot of their own stuff. So I like looking at their content because it's just nice. They do a lot of freeze drying. And then they did make a video recently where they were talking about how they bought a lot of... Was it figs? I love figs. I'm a little fig monster. I love figs. And I got kind of offended because they were like, oh, figs are so yucky, but my wife likes them, so we're going to try freeze drying them and get rid of that yucky, mushy. And I'm like, whoa, 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 hold on, my man. What do you mean yucky? Clearly a huge part of the population of the world loves fruit and loves figs. They are not yucky. And I think it comes down to what should we call it? The choice of words, the way that people learn to communicate. They don't really learn to kind of tone back their language and kind of recognize that, yeah, maybe you don't like something. Maybe you don't understand something. It doesn't make it bad. It doesn't make it yucky. But maybe just say, I don't like it, or I'm not into that. And people are that way with art too. They'll say, oh, that's dumb, or that's bad art, or that's silly. Instead of just kind of acknowledging, like, hey, I don't really see it, Something like that, Angel's saying, I hope you can read through my typos. Sometimes I type too fast. Yeah, no problem. Most of the time I know how to autocorrect whenever something's, whenever something silly gets typed in there. Most of the time, not always. But I can work through it. No worries. No worries. Bebop and Becca said, we were at a gallery show of found art. Neither of us could figure out the particular piece we were looking at. Yeah. There are going to be some things that are really going to challenge your not just your perspective, but your worldview, or your conceptions of both art and humanity. And yeah, yes. Sometimes you're just gonna look at it and go, I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to start. Yeah. I know that a long time ago I looked at some kind of cubist art. Was it cubist? No. Yeah, some cubist art, cubism. There's a couple different things that I don't always get. But I think that through the years, as I've kind of learned about it more, I kind of understand. So yeah. It could be really good art, and it could be at a gallery show, and other people might think it's good, and you might just find it confusing. And sometimes that's okay. Sometimes art can be confusing. And that says something about it and you, about the interaction. Victoria said, what is the best paper to use? I can't tell you what's best. I can tell you what I use. I use this paper. Is 65-pound cover stock. I'll add it to my list of things to link. I also use this in most of my things. But it is one of my favorite papers to use. So you can use cardstock, whatever. I just love using this particular one. Has a tiny bit of texture to it. It's not super smooth. So it's a 65 pounds cover stock. I think it's the one that's sold by Nina, Neenah. Again, I've got my list of things to put on the description. Yeah. So it's kind of like cardstock, but slightly less heavy. Sometimes using smooth paper works too. I just find that this is essentially one of my most favorite papers to draw on. Cover stock. Yeah, Angel, the Nina cardstock too. It's pretty good. It's good stuff. Yeah, Lisa said, even if it's not your taste, you can still appreciate the skill that went into making a piece of art. Yeah, of course. I agree. It doesn't have to be your thing, but it's good to just kind of like... I think what I like to do whenever I go to galleries, which I haven't even gone in like 2 years. Oh gosh. What am I doing with my life? I should go to a gallery this year. Yeah, when I look at art, especially in person, I just kind of think to myself about where the artist was mentally. I have more fun pondering that, like learning about the artist and Trying to figure out, you know, where were they mentally? What was going on? Is this turmoil I see in their art, or is it joy? Is it, you know, like when you look at a good, like a Rothko, it's confusing. Rothko's work is confusing, but it's supposed to be. It's supposed to get you, it's supposed to pull you out of your own skin and put you somewhere weird. And the first few times I saw Rothko's work, I was like, what is this? Why? Why this? And I sat there and I looked and looked and looked, and I just thought, okay, I need time. I get it now. I get Rothko's work now. It's good stuff. It took a while. And I love it now. I love Rothko's work. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, we're just talking about in the chat about paper. Yep. Astro Bright. Yeah, that's good stuff. I bought that before. It's a bit expensive. But hey, sometimes things are cheap. Sometimes they cost a lot of money. But it's good. I think it is. I just don't have any heavy cardstock right now because I used it all up. I used it. Yeah, usually, what is it, like 80 pound cardstock? That stuff is good too. Especially if you're planning on putting any of this up, it's good cardstock. You never know, you might make a drawing that you really, really love and you're going to want to put it up. Frame it, put it up, frame it up. There's our first cluster. How long have we been here? Oh, holy moly. It's been 1 hour and 17 minutes. This is what we've done. This is what I've done because I've been jibber-jabbering. This is how far I got. So here's that first cluster. Let me finish doing a little bit of the shading here. So I think I'm going to probably just add a little bit more, and then I'm going to give it a break. I'll take a break. Just a little break. But yeah, so far that's what we've got. We've got our big central element, and what's essentially going to happen is I will go and add these clusters, I'm guessing kind of throughout these vines. So it'll be all these little clusters, and then I'll have to decide what other kind of elements to add, I think. That's gonna take a minute, isn't it? Yeah. Yep. So let me see if there's anything else I can add right now quickly. I'd rather do it because it really helps me later so I don't have to make as many decisions. Less decisions equals good. Good art time. Where is that one? Where's the one? I'm thinking of going back to this bigger one. So the one, size 1. That way I can start adding. So what I'm thinking is some of these larger pieces that I'll add, I can add them now. So I'm going to do it right here. Just some of these larger shapes. Yeah, so I think about here, this is a good spot for, it's essentially going to look like these little petals, but it's going to be big. So here's how I'm going to do it. I'll start, so it's like a petal, but very, very large. That's essentially where I'm going with this. And then later I will add contour lines to that. So they're going to be all over the place. Different sizes, just like before. Different sizes. Later I will add a contour line. So there's a big boy and a small boy. And I think here, let's add another one to the cluster here. Are they leaves? Maybe. Maybe not. Let's see. I think I'm going to adhere to just letting these kind of grow out from this central cluster that I did. I will not put them on these vines. These vines will only have the little guys on them, but I'll make these just grow from here. So here, like that. Ooh, it's making like a squeaky sound right now. This can have a cluster. One right here. So again, this is just setting it up for later. How about a sort of small one right here? That's pretty good. I'm just going to keep going around. And sometimes having these larger shapes just really helps make things easier for me. I don't like this shape. I'm going to add another line there. I'll probably just fill that in with black later. And how about, I'm going to put a little one here. Just a little guy. And who else? Here? Maybe here? Maybe not. Maybe here, maybe not. I'm confused. Oh yeah, I need to do a cluster here. So here it is. That way I leave this space to put a cluster of the little ones here. Ones that kind of look like grapes. Okay, so I think that's good right there. Let me look at it real quick. Let's look. Kind of just assess the situation, what kind of mess we made here. It's not too bad. Okay. Nice. Oh man. I'm gonna have to try really hard to not get in there and color it. Although maybe coloring for a day or two might be nice. It might be very nice. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Angel said the circles in the middle with the contour lines reminds you of the Nautilus shells. Oh. Yeah, especially when there's more shading, it's really gonna pop. Like this is gonna really come forward once I add a whole lot of shading to the other stuff. All right, so I think that's pretty good. Let me see. How about this? How about tomorrow? What's tomorrow? Today is the 11th, 12th. Yeah. You know what? I will, in a few minutes, I'm going to set up for a live stream tomorrow around the same time. So if any of you want to join me tomorrow, we'll finish this. How about that? We'll finish the line work, add some details to the back, whatnot, etc. We'll do it together. I'll be here. So how about we do that? So tomorrow, same time. We can get together for the live. If you enjoyed this, thumbs up. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, so yeah, thanks everyone. Tomorrow, Friday, I will put up the thumbnail just like I did for today. It'll have this picture on it, so that way you guys can join me. Thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you for letting me jibber jabber and ramble on about all my weird, crazy stuff. I hope that you drew along with me. I hope you had fun. I'll see all of you tomorrow. Bye, and have a good night or a good morning or a good afternoon.